My life was code. Lines of Python, loops of logic, the hum of servers. It was my language, my world. I'm Jack Rivers, a 30-year-old programmer from Austin, Texas, who thought hard work and clean code could conquer anything. Growing up in a dusty suburb, I was the kid who'd rather rebuild a crashed laptop than kick a soccer ball. My mom, a diner waitress, and my dad, a warehouse worker, didn't get tech, but they got me. They scraped together $200 for a used PC when I was 14, and I spent nights teaching myself C++ from library books. By high school, I was coding apps for classmates, clunky quiz games, basic trackers, charging $20 a pop. It wasn't much, but it was mine. College wasn't an option, we couldn't afford it. Instead, I grinded online courses, Udemy, Codecademy, anything free or cheap. I landed my first gig at 19, debugging scripts for a local startup. The pay was garbage, but I learned fast, soaking up everything from SQL to cloud architecture. By 25, I was a freelancer, bouncing between contracts, always chasing the next big break. Imposter syndrome was my shadow. Every bug I fixed felt like luck, every praise like a fluke. But I kept going, because code didn't lie, unlike people. In 2022, Voltcore called. They were an Austin startup, hyped as the future of fintech, building AI-driven payment platforms. With $60 million in VC funding, they promised to rival PayPal. The office was a tech bro's fantasy, neon lights, craft beer taps, a VR gaming room. My role as senior software engineer paid $130,000, plus stock options that could have set me up for life. At 29, I rented a downtown loft, bought a used Mustang, and felt like I'd made it. Voltcore's mission, secure, instant payments for small businesses, lit a fire in me. I was ready to build something epic. The Dataflow team was my home. I coded alongside 6 engineers: Lisa Chun, a machine learning expert with a dry wit, Amir Khan, a front-end guru, and 4 others, Nate, Priya, Zoe, and Sam, who handled testing and DevOps. Our manager, Ryan Holt, was a former coder, tough but loyal, reporting to Kira Woods, the CEO. Kira was 38, a Stanford grad with a knack for TED-style pitches. She'd dazzle investors with talk of redefining transactions, her sharp bob and designer blazers screaming power. To us, she was a ghost, appearing only at all hands to hype Voltcore's unicorn status. I admired her from afar, blind to the snake behind the smile. My job was intense. I built APIs for real-time payments, optimized latency, and debugged AI models that predicted fraud. Lisa called me Code Whisperer for my knack for fixing her neural nets. By March 2023, I'd led a feature that cut transaction times by 25%, earning a bonus in Ryan's praise. I was on fire, dreaming of proposing to my girlfriend, Maya, a barista with a laugh that melted me. But in the tech world, flames can turn to ash fast. The first crack appeared in April during a team sprint. Kira joined our stand-up, a rare move. She announced a new client, PayRiser, a retail chain with a $6 million contract. "This is our moonshot," she said, her eyes scanning us like a general. PayRiser needs flawless integration, 0 errors, full security. "Jack, your lead on the API. Don't let us down." Her tone was sharp, pinning me. I nodded, confused. I was already on APIs. Why the pressure? Lisa shot me a look, her eyebrow twitching, but we moved on. PayRiser's project was brutal. Their payment system, thousands of daily transactions, demanded bulletproof encryption and sub-second latency. I worked 70-hour weeks, rewriting REST endpoints and stress-testing AWS servers. Lisa tuned the AI, Amir polished the UI, and Ryan shielded us from Kira's emails, which came at midnight. Confirm API uptime. Verify security. Her micromanaging was bizarre for a CEO, but I chalked it up to the deal's size. By June, we launched. PayRiser's payments flowed, secure and fast. Ryan high-fived me, saying, "You crushed it, Jack." I waited for Kira's nod. It never came. Instead, I caught a whisper of trouble. At a company mixer, Kira was pitching an investor by the beer taps. "PayRiser's $6 million is rocket fuel," she said, her voice smooth. "We're scaling. New hires, global campaigns, maybe a second office." I froze, gripping my IPA. Voltcore's servers crashed weekly. Lisa's AI needed more compute power, but Ryan said budgets were tight. Global campaigns? We barely had a marketing team. Where was the money going? I pushed it aside. CEOs play long games, right? But the seed was planted. Lisa Chun was my rock at Voltcore. She was 34, a second-generation Chinese-American who'd clawed her way from community college to a PhD in AI. Her humor was biting, her code elegant. We'd bonded over late-night sprints, trading war stories about startup chaos. Lisa had seen it all: managers stealing credit, VCs ghosting her pitches. She joined Voltcore for the tech, not the hype, but Kira tested her patience. Last year, Lisa had pitched an AI upgrade to predict fraud faster. It could have saved clients millions, but Kira killed it, saying it wasn't market-ready. Lisa showed her data, 90% accuracy in tests, but Kira redirected funds to a flashy ad campaign. She's more about optics than outcomes, Lisa told me, her voice low. Watch your back, Jack. Her warning echoed when Kira zeroed in on me for pay riser. Lisa noticed Kira's Cayman's trips, her new Tesla, her vague budget answers. Something's off, she said. I didn't see it then, but Lisa's instincts were my compass. On July 15, 2023, my world imploded. Ryan called me into a meeting with HR's Vanessa and Kira. The room felt like a freezer. Vanessa spoke, her tone flat. Jack, the pay riser integration failed. Your API caused transaction losses, breaching client trust. My heart sank. That's not true, I stammered. The API's live, zero downtime, full encryption. Kira's eyes were ice. PayRiser reported losses. We traced it to your code. This is a fireable offense. I demanded logs, proof, anything. Vanessa dodged. Client data's confidential. Ryan looked away, silent. Kira's voice cut through. You're terminated, effective immediately. Security's waiting. I was numb. The termination letter read, gross negligence. A guard escorted me out, my team watching, stunned. Amir whispered, this is BS, Jack. Lisa's text hit as I reached my car. Your code was perfect. Kira's lying. I drove home, hands shaking, and scoured my commits. The API was flawless, 99.8% uptime, no errors. PayRiser's system hummed. The failure was a ghost. My savings were thin, Maya was distant under my stress, and recruiters ghosted me, citing the breach. I was broken, but anger sparked through the fog. Kira had framed me. I'd find out why. Those weeks were hell. I'd always fought self-doubt, a kid from Austin who felt out of place among Stanford grads. At Voltcore, I'd buried it under deadlines, but the firing cracked me open. Negligent. The word burned, feeding every fear I wasn't good enough. I barely slept, staring at code I knew was solid, questioning my sanity. Maya tried to help, but I pushed her away, lost in rage. My loft's rent loomed, my savings at $2,000. I moved into my buddy Nate's spare room, a former Voltcore tester who'd left for a better gig. Nate was my lifeline. Over whiskey, he saw through my spiral. Jack, you're not the screw-up here, he said. Your API was gold. Kira's covering something. He reminded me of a hackathon we'd won in 2021, outcoding a Google team. You're a beast, he said. Dig. Prove her wrong. His words flipped a switch. I wasn't negligent, I was a target, and I had the tools to fight back. I knew Voltcore's systems cold. Months ago, I'd built a backdoor, a hidden admin token for debugging, tucked in an AWS Lambda function. It was standard dev practice, forgotten by managers. Voltcore hadn't revoked it, their security sloppy. Accessing it was a risk, legally dicey, morally gray, but they'd torched my life. I owed them nothing. In August, I logged in from a VPN, chaining my IP through Singapore. The token worked, granting read-only access to Dataflow's backend. I stayed clear of client data, too risky, but could see logs, emails, and financials. I started with PayRiser's API. The logs were clean, 99.9% uptime, no losses, encryption intact. My code was a fortress. Kira's failure was a lie. I searched Kira's emails for PayRiser. A thread with a board member stopped me cold. PayRiser's $6 million is secured in the offshore account. We'll allocate to expansion, ads, acquisitions. Offshore? Voltcore wasn't global. Why hide money? I found invoices from Apex Ventures, a consulting firm paid $3 million. No services, just Kira's signature and a Cayman's bank. Apex was a ghost, no site, just a Delaware P.O. box. Payment dates told the story. Payriser's $6 million landed in May, but only $1.5 million hit operations. The rest, $4.5 million, went to Apex. An email from Kira to a R. Dalton at Apex was the clincher. Funds transferred. Keep it quiet. Dalton replied, routed to your personal account. Clean. Kira was stealing, using Apex to launder Payriser's money. She'd framed me to deflect suspicion, betting I'd fade away. Lisa's story fueled my fire. She'd been burned by Kira too. In 2022, Kira had promised her a lead role on an AI project, then gave it to a less qualified guy, citing fit. Lisa's fraud model was shelved, her bonus cut, while Kira splurged on a Super Bowl ad. She plays favorites. Lisa told me over beers, post-Volt Core. And she's got secrets. Lisa quit in July, fed up, taking a job at a smaller startup. Her exit interview was ignored. Kira didn't care. If you're digging, Jack, Lisa said, find the dirt. For both of us. Her pain mirrored mine. Kira didn't just steal money, she stole futures. I vowed to make her pay, not just for me, but for Lisa, Amir, anyone she'd crushed. My dossier grew. 25 invoices, 15 emails, API logs proving my innocence. Kira had siphoned $5 million, her Tesla and lakefront condo the spoils. I was ready to strike. Hacking Volt Core was surgical. I used Tor, rotating VPNs daily. The backdoor was a JSON token, buried in a serverless function. I limited sessions to 15 minutes, downloading logs via CLI. Kira's emails were synced to an admin bucket, a rookie error. I scraped them with a Python script, filtering Apex and Payriser. Financials were in a PostgreSQL database. I queried wire transfers, saving CSVs. Once, Sam, the sysadmin, flagged a login spike. I logged off, sweating, but he missed me. Kira's neglect of security was my edge. The evidence was damning. $5.2 million to Apex, tied to a Cayman's account in Kira's name. I found a second shell, Triton Group, paid $1 million for analytics. Emails showed Kira coordinating with Dalton, her old Stanford buddy, to hide the funds. My termination was strategic. She'd flagged my API as risky in a board memo, setting me up as the fall guy. I wasn't just fired, I was erased. I needed the press. Lisa suggested Mia Torres, a tech insider reporter who'd exposed a crypto scam. I emailed Mia anonymously. Volt Core CEO, stealing millions. Evidence ready. Interested? She bid, asking for proof. I spent a week sanitizing the dossier. 30 pages of invoices, emails, logs, and my termination letter. Using a library PC, I sent it via encrypted link with a note. Kira Woods framed an employee to cover her $5 million theft. Volt Core's a sham. Break the story. Mia was cautious, verifying the data with a forensic accountant. I fed her more. Kira's condo purchase, her Cayman's trips. Lisa vouched for me, anonymously, confirming Volt Core's budget lies. By October, I was a ghost, orchestrating Kira's downfall from Nate's couch, my Mustang sold to pay bills. On October 10, 2023, Tech Insider published, Volt Core CEO embezzled $5 million, framed employee. Mia's article was a sledgehammer, with Apex invoices and Kira's emails in full color. It went viral, 200,000 views in a day, reposted by Wired, Forbes, and r/anti-work, 75,000 upvotes. Users dubbed me Shadow Coder. This guy's a hero. Burned a CEO from his basement. Twitter exploded, #Volt Core scam trending. Payriser sued, investors bailed, and Volt Core stock options became confetti. Kira's empire crumbled. The board fired her October 12th. The SEC froze her assets. Her condo and Tesla were seized, her Stanford cred trashed. She fled to Miami, dodging cameras. Volt Core filed for bankruptcy, the VR room auctioned off. I watched, vindicated but heavy. My revenge killed jobs, but Kira's greed killed Volt Core. Reddit was a circus. In r/pro revenge, a post, fired for nothing, Tanked CEO's $5 million scam. Hit 40,000 upvotes. Comments poured in. Shadow coder for president. My boss faked my eval. How do I do this? r/anti-work raged. This is why corporations suck. I stayed silent, but the support felt like armor. Mia's follow-ups kept the pressure on, revealing Kira's past, shady deals at a prior startup. The internet didn't forgive. Investors were gutted. Lone Star Ventures, Voltcor's lead VC, lost $40 million. Their CEO emailed the board, leaked on X, what's lied to our faces. You failed us. Smaller VCs sued, and Payriser's lawsuit claimed $10 million in damages. Voltcor's Austin office became a ghost town, its neon lights dark. My team survived mostly. Lisa thrived at her startup, mentoring women in AI. Amir joined a bank, coding trading platforms. Ryan apologized. I should have pushed back on Kira. I forgave him. He was trapped, like me. Nate, my host, joked I owed him rent for housing a legend. Maya and I rebuilt, stronger. I proposed under Austin's Zilker Park stars, her yes, my real victory. In 2024, I joined Nexus Point, a fintech with honest leaders. My $160,000 salary and downtown condo felt earned. The shadow coder myth opened doors. Recruiters loved the mystery. Tech Insider's op-ed, the shadow coder's wake-up call, pushed for whistleblower laws. Startups added audits, and Austin's tech scene grew cautious of unicorn CEOs. Kira pleaded guilty to fraud, facing 5 years. A Wired profile called her fintech's fallen star. I didn't gloat, justice was enough. My dossier, saved on a USB, was my trophy. Voltcor tried to bury me, but I buried them, proving one coder could rewrite the game. If you've been burned by a boss, fight back. The truth's your weapon, and the world's watching. That's how I turned a lie into a CEO's ruin, exposing a $5 million scam and reclaiming my life. Ever been fired unfairly? Drop your story. What's the worst boss move you've seen? Smash that like button if justice hits hard. Subscribe to Karma and Revenge Hub, and ring the bell for more tales where truth wins. Keep fighting, and never let a liar steal your code.